Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Ape.6. In the last part we started off World 5 and now we've reached one of the 3 most unique levels in the game. Welcome to Crumbling Castle. We'll get more into why it's unique in a moment, just know that there's only 3 levels like this in the game. So you may have noticed right there, the goal of Crumbling Castle isn't to catch a certain amount of monkeys, it's to catch Spectre. Crumbling Castle is one of the 3 stages in the game where you don't have to really worry about the main monkeys unless there's a monkey gate you need to open by catching a certain amount, period. Like I know the first, in order to progress in this stage, you need to catch at least 5 to open a certain door. With that said, the 3 levels that have that mechanic have the most monkeys in the game. I think combined between the 3 of them, about a third of the game's monkeys, somewhere about 60, are available. I want to say this one has around 16 to 20, somewhere in that range. I forget the exact numbers for most of the stages off the top of my head, honestly. But this is without a doubt one of the largest levels in the game with the most monkeys you can find, a lot of which are honestly hidden kind of surprisingly well compared to the rest of the game. Like they'll be just off in a corner off to the side that you're not entirely sure you can even go behind. And I'm torn when it comes to these levels, at least with how Ape.6 1 does them. Because Ape.6 in general, I find, is a very snappy game series where everything's very fast, very reaction-based. And for Ape.6 1's levels, they really focus in on that for very small levels. So having 3 levels that are just obtusely large in comparison feels really odd. But in the sequels, where not only are things a bit more refined, but there's a lot more set-piece-based stuff going on, it makes me feel like that the levels have a bit more time to breathe in the sequels because they're mostly longer levels. Especially Ape.6 3, like, I'd say at least a good third of the game's levels are about the size of this one and the other 2 later on in the game. But I can't tell if that's just the relative lack of some things happening in Ape.6 1 that's just messing with me like that. It's weird. With that said, while Crumbling Castle is large, it's also a very linear level, in that because you need to catch at least 5 monkeys before progressing on to the point you actively need to get to, we have to go along this pathway. And I don't know why. This room in particular, I have a lot of trouble with or at least in practice I had a lot of trouble with the timing puzzle in here. Because we gotta raise a platform to get up to a ramp where there's barrels falling down on Donkey Kong style, and those I believe can instant kill you, maybe if they roll right over you, but otherwise they'll just damage you. Again, crushing deaths in this game are possible, they're just very rare. Like there's some doors I know can accidentally crush you if you just get caught in a weird place in such doors exist even in the game's final level. But you have to get into a super precise position to do that, so eh. And that's the monkey gate we need to opened. But that said, before you actively go down and follow that pathway, I recommend going to the top of this room and exiting via the door we saw at the top there first. Because there's a switch up there that's pretty helpful when you're going for everything in this area. I'll get more into why in a moment. Now, something you may have noticed during the little intro cutscene for the area where they show like all the camera pans of what you might see in the location and such. You may have seen a weird glowing hexagonal box. Remember how I've mentioned that this game really doesn't want you to 100% level on the first visit no matter what it feels like, even if there's only 1 monkey left? The 3 biggest levels in the game are also extremely guilty of that. That box in particular is like the glowing panels we've seen in certain walls, and that they can only be destroyed with the final tool you get in the game, which you get after beating the final boss. So that box right over there that we saw on the camera has a monkey in it. We can't grab him. I really don't get why they have this happen for so many of the game stages. Ape Escape 2 and 3, again, as I believe I mentioned, make it so that if they want you to not catch every monkey, there's a lot you can't capture because you either don't have some tool yet or there's a transformation you don't have in the case of Ape Escape 3. But in Ape Escape 1, it really feels like they should have allowed you to catch every monkey in some of the stages just to kind of cross that level off your list and not have to worry about it ever again. Mind you, that's also just how I like to play games coming into mind. Like, I like the idea of, alright, that's taken care of, I don't have to worry about that ever again. But that said, the reason we ultimately went up to the roof was to hit the switch that was up there, which caused 3 stairs to appear on the wall leading up to the roof of the castle. That's just going to make coming back up to the roof for the end of the stage much easier because the door that was up there is where Spectre is. The problem is the door's locked and we need to come towards this direction to unlock it. Also, the monkey that's over here with the Spectre coin, I want to say it was one of the last monkeys I ever found on the stage. Something I'll give this stage in particular, it is really good at hiding things just off screen enough. Like the 2 monkeys I got back in the spinning switch room. That like one was on the central pillar. That was one of the last ones I think I found too. Ape Escape 1 is good at hiding things from you sometimes. Again, though, because you have the monkey radar, very few monkeys are hard to find. In fact, something I don't even think I mentioned about the monkey radar. It works on an area-per-area basis. And what I mean is, say we're in this zone right now where I'm loaded in. If I pointed at a monkey that was in the area, I could look at that directly. But if I pointed it at a door that leads to an area with more monkeys, it'll also start going off. If I point it to an area that doesn't have any more monkeys, it will not go off. So you can also get an idea whether or not you've cleared an area out by using the radar. Alright though, this is potentially one of the most annoying rooms in this level. Because we got, I think, 3 monkeys and a Spectre coin in this area. And if you fall all the way down to the bottom without getting them, you have to backtrack all the way back up to the top of this room to do that. And that's a pretty big circle you have to navigate. Double jump well, and again, almost always have the propeller on moving forward just to help extend any jumps you want to make. This room's also notable in that it has, I want to say, the first real mini-boss we've seen. There are a couple of mini-boss-esque enemies that we could have seen so far in the game, but I haven't really fought any of them because either they are past a monkey gate that required more than the amount of monkeys you need to catch on a first visit into a stage, or I just didn't go that way. And the mini-boss is this knight. It'll block a shot, then take a shot. So if you just constantly swing the stun club, it'll perish without even a second thought. And you do need to beat it because otherwise this door doesn't open. Now, something I do like about this particular stage is we're now in a little, like, underground waterway area. You can technically make it here beforehand and try to figure out how to get there, but you'll only come to the opposite side of this door. Back where you saw water in the river earlier on the outside of the castle, you can swim underneath that waterfall to end up in this area. But we're going to end up using this as an exit later on. Right here, this is probably one of the only times in the game the water meter can pose an active threat. It's like this in one other swimming section in the next world that I don't think we even see until the second visit through all the levels. Because we gotta swim all the way through here to find a monkey. I don't think there's anything important otherwise this direction, that you need to beat the level at least. Yeah, this is just a monkey. With that said, something I do like about the Ape Escape trilogy is, by and large, you get a complete game just by playing through all the levels, not going for 100%. Going for all the monkeys and anything else like I'm doing in this LP just gets you extras, and maybe an extra ending and final boss. I think in terms of scale, they do things right usually. The big thing is, obviously, this level is all we're doing this part, and when it comes to the 2 other long levels, those are going to be their own parts. In fact, one of them is split up into several parts. I like the sequels having their levels get longer in some regards, but I feel sometimes they push the limit. Because I want to say the final level of Ape Escape 3 can clock in almost to 2 hours, and like, no thanks. Why? I say I think because I honestly haven't played Ep.6 3 in a while. I'm looking directly at my copy right now. It's right across the room from me. I think the last time I played through that in any regard maybe was, if not early college, late high school. So it's been a while. Also, they want you to platform on those platforms back there and avoid, like, the spike hazards, but you can just water net through the water and you won't have to worry about it at all. Alright, so this room here is our goal for Crumbling Castle because there's a switch at the top that'll open up the door on the roof of the castle. With that said, not only is the last Spectre coin in the area in this room, but also one of the most annoying monkeys, and I think one of the active first times we're speeding up me catching just a single monkey, because this guy runs fast, and I find him surprisingly hard to catch. Or wait, is it this one or is there another one? I think it might actually be a different monkey I'm thinking of. I want to say there's there's like a missile firing monkey down in the lower areas right now. Big thing, just hit this switch. Makes that gear move into place, causing that mechanism to rotate, going all the way up to the top. We can now access the end of the level. Something I do admittedly appreciate, though, in Ep.6 1 with its longer levels, is that at least you have a really high monkey capture per minute rate, usually, I guess is the way I want to put it. Because you can usually, if you know the level well enough, catch at least a monkey a minute, if not faster, because they place them at such a good rate. So at least even in the longer levels of the game, you're constantly engaged in what's going on, and there's always something to do. Compared to some games where I feel some of the longer levels drag on a bit, and Ep.6 3s can do that, there's at least still stuff going on during how long it is, you know what I mean? With that said, now we just need to go take that staircase I opened up earlier in the parts, and go up to the roof to witness the end of the level. In a way, though, I wish some of the bigger Ep.6 levels were more structured like this, at least in terms of they kind of look back on themselves angle. If I recall Ep.6 2 and 3's level design, usually it's like, alright, here's one side path, but otherwise it's just a straight line from start to finish. In a way, this is a weird comparison to make, but it's very similar to how Shadow the Hedgehog structured some of its missions, where you had to kill all the Black Arms or kill all the gun soldiers, where, alright, here's a straight line, find all the things you need to do within it, and then maybe backtrack if you have to. And I don't like that level design. It's one of the many reasons I don't like Shadow the Hedgehog as a game. Bad routing, nonsensical writing half the time depending on the choices you make and all that, notwithstanding being a lot of the other ones. With that said, we've reached the end of the level, so let's see what happens up here. Hey guys, how you doing?
Well, look who's here. So you finally found us.
Spectre. Jake.
And how is everything coming along?
Everything is under control and coming along very nicely according to plan.
Very good. Then let's get going.
Right.
Hold on! You're not going anywhere.
Oh, yes, we are. I don't have time to bother with you right now. Oh, but we will. We will meet again. You just wait. You won't even know what hit you.
Another time, another place. You'll have your chance.
Time for the first boss fight of the game. In the second to last main world, this giant armor knight will follow you slowly, occasionally charge up a giant axe swing, and then swing on the floor, which will make a giant shockwave. At that point, it leaves itself open to attack. And at that, you just repeat. It is invincible while it's electrified, but I believe it's theoretically faster. To come into this fight with max health, take a hit from touching it while it's invincible, and then hit it there with, I want to say, like, the most powerful of the slingshot shots, like the explosive rounds or something. and you can just Pyrrhic the boss down all the way to the end of its health, where you'll have 1 or 2 health left and it'll be dead. I think because I believe that's what speedruns do more or less, but I always feel anxious doing that, so I just take the much longer, much slower method of doing it. Ape Escape 1's biggest biggest shortcome, rather, is without a doubt its boss fights, because there are technically only 4 in the game, and 2 of them are in the final level. Oh, it's not great. Ape Escape 2 drastically improves this, and Ape Escape 3 just takes that and runs with it, I feel, as it does with a lot of things. I guess they wanted to focus more on making the levels and focusing on capturing the apes rather than actively making boss fights. Maybe, but I wish they had done a little more attention with this, because boss fights are very key to adventure games. To games in general, but especially games that are like level-to-level adventure, because they make the rising action and the tension feel more important. It feels like there's more to risk yourself with, because especially with how many lives you can get in this game and how chill the game's difficulty curve is, it definitely feels like that boss fights are something that's missing from it. With that said, that's Crumbling Castle. It's one of the longest levels in the game, and still only about a third as long as the longest level in the game, and that says a lot about how long that level gets. Oh boy. Wait, where was Natalie? Huh, this doesn't bode well.
Hey, wait a minute. What's going on here? Hey! Whoa!
Look, it's a UFO!
No!
Get inside!
Whoa! Please help me!
Spike, listen, I have a message from the professor.
Let's hear it.
Understood.
Spike, I'm sure you've seen the strange things going on outside. While you were gone, Spectre and his gang of apes swept in and have taken over the town. The entire town is running scared. Everything's been turned upside down. It's a mess and we need your help. Here, take a look. Spectre's built his base right in the middle of town. The apes are everywhere. His army is getting stronger and more dangerous. You're the only one who can save us all. You've got the gadgets, now go use them. Time is running out. We're counting on you.
Ah! Hey, wait a minute! What are you doing?
Hold
Let
on,
go of
stop!
me!
Well, that's not exactly happy. Still, we've cleared World 5, and now we're on to World 6. But with that, I'm going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in Part 7, we start off the final main world of the game. See you guys then.